Well, you said at the height of the violence, your crew had a list of a dozen people that you guys wanted to kill.
Yeah, well, I pled guilty to, like I said, at least 4. It could be more. I pled guilty to conspiracy to murder that we didn't kill. We plotted to kill them. There was this one family in my area. I tried like a dozen times to kill them. That was a beef that I had with that family, and I tried so hard to kill him. Everything that was going on in 2003 when Bruno got killed. See, people like when you say I participated in Bruno's murder. Bruno was with me. Me and Bruno were close. I didn't want to have anything to do with Bruno's murder. I got ordered eventually to kill him, and I had to kill him. Participate in his murder. But that was the furthest thing I wanted. These dummies back in Springfield, like they think like, you know, I took out Bruno to become the big boss, and I was already the most powerful guy in the area. And I'm telling you, Vlad, and this is a fact, I was looking to kill the Manzi family in my area. My house, there was a beef that went on. We shot 3 guys. We stabbed them with ice picks. We clubbed them. 2 days later, I'm at my nightclub, and my house gets shot 25 times. Low, I had a brick house. It got shot low. I knew who was behind the order. It was the old man in Italy, but I knew his family was here. And from that day on, my goal was to murder that. There was nothing else I was concentrating on. Even my money's on the street. My whole goal was to kill that family. And that was it. I don't care what anybody says in the newspapers. I don't care what anybody says I wanted to kill Bruno for this. That was the people I pled guilty to killing them. I wanted to kill them, and they're lucky they're alive. Okay, so so Bruno, when he was boss, he had a list of about a half a dozen guys that he had us on stock, getting their movements down and laying on them and gonna clip them. I pled guilty to them. There was like 3 or 4 with him. Never mind our guys with Freddie. I think there was an article. There was a hit list with us, and this is how sloppy Freddie was. Like I would never talk about a murder. Once that murder happened, I'm not even going to talk about it with the guys I did it with. And so, but he would like to tell people like the fact that we're all murderers, and like let other people know that didn't participate in the murder. Give them subtle clues of things. And so, yeah, there was a list.
Okay. Who was the most violent person that you actually knew?
It wasn't the 2 brothers, and I don't even want to say the guy's name, but he was out of Connecticut, and he was the most violent, vicious killer that was involved in me. Older guy, and way more murders than any, way more dangerous with his hands, a killer, and I had lots of guys that were like guys out of Boston, guys that in New York. When I was doing all my stuff from the 90s up until I got made in 03, the people that came across, that came in, and I don't call it my crew. Me and you are friends, and I'm selling you 100 pounds of marijuana a week. You're not my crew. We're associates, and I'm just in the weed business with you. I might be in the sports business with him. I might be selling cocaine with him. I might be, this guy might be a violent, vicious dude that we went and clubbed the guys, broke his legs. We went and shot a guy with this guy. So all together, they try to label it as my crew, which technically I was the made guy, so that's why they do that. But we were all just, I would say business associates that were all worked together throughout the Northeast, like Boston, New York, Connecticut, into Albany, New York, Massachusetts. And it was just a good network. So Ty, and I'll tell you this, Ty G is a lot more dangerous than Freddie G is. Freddie wanted the, and I don't like talking about the murders, because the families that were involved in this and that. But on one murder, I had to yell at him to shoot the guy in the head because I don't want to see the guy get buried alive, because he was beaten and he was shot, but I wanted to make sure because he was going in a hole. And that sounds sick, but still, you don't want to see a guy buried alive. So I'm saying shoot him in the head. And he's got the gun over his head. I go, shoot him. Because they already shot him 7 times and the guy didn't die. He had to get, I'm shooting him. So he's hesitating. And then I walked over to go get the gun, and then finally he shot him. So he hesitated when it came to putting that bullet in the guy's head. Another time when we shot 3 guys, I was saying, shoot, 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 shoot. Finally, I said, give me the gun. And that's when he went, pop, 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 and shot him. Whereas Ty is a Ty has a little bit of that paranoid schizophrenic in him. He's more of a dangerous of the two. And he's so petrified. And as dangerous as he is, he's tough with his hands, bigger than me. Like, I would use a gun on him if I had to. But he was petrified of me, not in a way where he's scared of me because of who I am, because he knows that I have the capability of having him killed. We went to a social club in New York, and I know how he was. He wanted to sit in the front seat. I was going with made guys to go meet other business guys, and there's 2 made guys coming with us. And Ty's Greek. He's just a crazy young. Get in the front. No, Ty, you get in the front. I'm the driver. Get in the front. No, you, Ty. They're fighting on who's going to get in the front because this guy's an old gangster, but Ty doesn't want to get in the front because he's thinking this guy's going to shoot him. We go to a club in New York, social club. It happened to be closed. The guy's opening. I already know what he's thinking. Closed social club in New York. We're going to clip him. We get back in the car. I go, tell me what you were thinking when we were walking in that club. He goes, I'll be honest, I was like 3 seconds from just taking off running because he thought we were going to clip him in there. And I'm trying to make it easy. I'm going in first, turning the lights, walking all around way ahead of him. So Ty's more of a dangerous. Freddie's the type also that would have someone else do the job rather than him do it hands-on. Ty's more of a hands-on guy.
Did you know about Richard Kuklinski, a.k.a. the Iceman?
I know about his story. I think he lied about, but he's a dangerous guy. I know he's definitely a killer. I mean, I think he lied about a lot of that stuff, but you could tell looking at him, he's a killer. Like, I don't think there's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Well, you became a made man yourself, but you actually talked about in the 60s and 70s, people would actually pay to become made men.
You know, I've heard there was a time in New York, I think it was the Gambino family, when I forgot I don't know if it was Anastasia, but there was a time period in them where they were paying $50,000 to get made, and they didn't recognize those guys afterwards. And I don't know about that. That's just something that it was, I don't know how I heard it, something like that. There was a guy in my area. He ends up being an informant from the 80s to it came out in like 2016 that he was an informant. Jimmy Santinello. He owned the Mardi Gras strip club. Well, he was a Whitey Bulger. You talk about Whitey Bulger. No, this guy really was. There was 302s and notes of him informing on the mafia. So this guy is an informant since the 80s. Jimmy Santinello. He owns the strip club, biggest strip club, and he was trying to pay $50,000 to get made back in like the 80s and everything. And in our area was so strict with old school wise guys that was never going to happen. Because, that would never happen. In our area, they wanted you to participate in a murder. Mm-hmm. We had an old school bunch of wise guys, and if you put in work and you kill 2-3 people and that's how you had to get made, you don't want some guy coming in that just say, oh, you're cousins with so-and-so, or you're a great money earner, and here, we're going to give you your button, and you're going to get the same respect as I do, have the same say in certain matters. It maybe even get promoted to a captain over me, and I kill 3 people just because you make more money. So that's how you look at it like that. But yeah, there are guys that are money makers that get made because of that.
Well, Michael Francis.
Yeah, well, yeah. His father was who he was, very intelligent guy, big time money maker, and and not to say nothing that he didn't have to participate in murders, but when you got a notorious mobster father, he's gonna watch out for that and stop you from being involved in where you had to participate in for a murder. Right. And also the fact that he had $8 million a week coming in. I mean, it was big money, and that's a big asset for the family. Everybody thinks like the mafia, you need to be an organization, you have to be powerful, like a form of a government powerful. You got to wheel and deal with politicians, judges, law enforcement. Everybody calls them rats, right? But how are you going to become a powerful organization if you're not a powerful organization? So what else you need? You need money. So there's all types of ways to make money. His way was the gas scam. Right. And was bringing in huge money. So
you actually interacted with Sonny Francis, who's Michael's father.
Not directly, but yeah.
indirectly?
Yeah, through a situation that was happening in New York City. The Hustler nightclub was owned by a few guys from Connecticut, and they own restaurants and bars in Connecticut. And but they were opening up the Hustler nightclub. This was back in like 02, 03-ish, 04. And so what happened was the Genovese family, us, we sent in a dozen guys from the family to go into the Hustler nightclub, you know, walk in there, don't pay for the tab, drink, stay in there for a few hours, leave, and then tell the manager, tell the guys, these owners, that we're their new partners. So that was the way we hit them there. And then in our area, we were going to do a lot worse, but we threatened them and said that you have to pay $12,000 a week out of the Hustler nightclub. The next day I got served with a, I don't know why they do this, but Connecticut and Mass, they give you a target letter. So 1 or 2 days later, I get hit with a target letter that I'm a target of a federal investigation. And it was over the meeting I had with these owners of the club. So we back off going in that direction. And but the whole goal was in New York was for them to push out who was behind these guys. Because there's always a wise guy, somebody behind them. You know, in the trash business, you know, we did the same thing in the trash business. We're pushing with the trash, and come to find out, Matty the horse is behind them. Well, in this case, it was Sonny Francesi that was behind them in the Hustler nightclub. It was the Colombos. And so that's how the interaction was. And then they dealt with it in New York. The beef moved to, instead of us being involved, the bosses in New York got involved, you know, and did what they had to do. Well, and I pled guilty to that on my 2010 racketeering case. That was one of my extortions.